the Mud Puck, driven by Ed Gerber. Ed is from Bakersfield, California. He'll be going against the Troublemaker, driven by Larry Harrison of Clipper Mills, California.
I'll tell you, fans of the ESPN coverage of U.S. Hoffman Association Mud Racing will remember Larry Harrison's 64 Ford Galaxy with a supercharged 427 Ford. It is one of the slickest unlimited mud racing vehicles in the country.
Great run.
No question about it. A lot of standing water for Larry Harrison on the left side of your screen. The very first machine through the mud pit usually has to deal with that water. But look at Gerber's time in the Mud Puck, 2.90 seconds. Well, as you can see, Harrison did have a little bit of a slower time at 3.13 seconds. Now remember, this is in 100 feet of mud. The national elapsed time record for this class stands at 2.37 seconds.
All right, next pair coming up. It's going to be Danny's Toy, driven by Kenny Goodman. And he's going to be facing the local mudder, driven by Miguel Guzman.
Guzman's machine, a supercharged thing, a funny car that Daddy's Toy and real lightweight Chevy. Great race. Look at the finish line effort by the Daddy's Toy machine, completely sideways. Guzman can't stop. He's almost down by the crush guards, Jeff.
Blasting through the mud pit, great times.
No question, these guys are putting down some power. Look at the Daddy's Toy effort. Off the starting line, you can see the machine definitely hooking up, but watch this hard right-hand turn right there at the finish line into the berm. 3.23 seconds for the lightweight Chevy. Look at the body panels on this thing. Wild, wild ride.
Well, the next pair of machines is the plain old Chevy. He just spells it, plain old Chevy. Driven by Fred Stout of Santa Maria, California. He'll be going against the Titanic's Revenge, driven by Jim Winnick of Tucson, Arizona.
Well, Fred Stout, the Californian of the plain old Chevy, like you said, calling it as he sees it, is definitely a strong one. Wow! But amazingly, the Arizonian drives around on the other end. That was an upset and a half, Chair.
Great run for these mud bog racers. Look at him.
I tell you, he's taking a ride. Look at that man in the cockpit. He is working for a living. Definitely. Stout, the plain old Chevy, at 3.24 seconds, will right now qualify for those 4 quickest machines that will go into the championship dash. But here was the man that really impressed. Look at this thing, 6,000-pound vehicle, lifted the front wheels off the line, straight as an arrow, 2.51 seconds. Unbelievable run.
Putting the power down. All right, coming up next, it's going to be Bill Oliver with the unnamed and untamed. And look where he's sitting, right where the engine would be.
It's an unbelievable vehicle. 1941 Willys military vehicle, a rear-engine, supercharged Chevrolet. Driver, like you pointed out, they're literally up against the front frame rails. We'll be up against the breathless Chevrolet. Christmas tree countdown goes to green.
Whoa, and look at the unnamed untamed Bill Oliver.
I'll tell you, those were 2 wild rides. Definitely Oliver had a phenomenal run in the rear-engine Willys, but then the breathless entry was all over the track. Look at this thing. All 4 wheels off the ground on the launch. 2.59 seconds, only 7/100ths of a second behind the Titanic's Revenge machine. Excellent run. The breathless entry in the meantime looked pretty strong off the starting line, but he also makes a hard move down at the finish line right there. 3.09 seconds will not get him in the quick 4 qualifiers at this point.
He kissed the wall, and that lost him a little bit of time.
Yeah, we have a very high berm down at the finish line, and that's going to affect these guys.
All right, here's the Mustang, Jim Dara. He's from Lompoc, California.
Tell you, people will remember this machine from a year ago here at Anaheim. He's up against Dave Izell in the Empty Pockets, relatively new Chevy step-side truck. That Ford-powered 69 Mach 1 can run with the best of them.
Next pair eases up to the starting line.
See the ground crew connecting the kill switch to the machines that will automatically shut the engine down at the finish line as per U.S. Hoffman Association safety rules. They're ready.
Good fight at the starting line.
Both machines, Jerry, ran into problems about 3/4 track. Certainly the Chevy step-side pickup having more problems for Ezell than for the Ford. We'll probably see that here on the replay. Leaves the starting line pretty nicely, but it looks like the ruts down there get mighty deep. 4.19 seconds for Ezell won't help him a bit as far as qualifying for the 4-car shootout. The other lane, though, Dara's Mustang also had basically the same problem. He leaves the starting line, trying to correct to get around those ruts, but they almost sucked him right back in. The elapsed time, 3.06 seconds for the Ford Mach 1. That also will not get him into the Final 4.
Those ruts are getting a little deep over in both these lanes. All right, coming up next, it's going to be the Gold Bricker. This is driven by Paul Cafisi.
Las Vegas driver will be taking on Larry Harrison. We saw him earlier with his Ford Galaxy. This is his number 2 vehicle, the Wild Thing truck. Supercharged Ford leads the line first in the far lane and annihilates Harrison's Chevy, which apparently broke about 3/4 track, or at least Harrison got out of it. On the replay, we'll see if Harrison's problems are easily identifiable. It looks like it left the line okay. The ruts didn't appear to be giving it a problem, and right there you can see it just down on power. 3.34 seconds won't help him a bit. The question is, will the Goldbricker supercharged Ford with 60 cubic inch Ford make it into the quick 4 field? He leaves the starting line nicely down into the ruts. These 6,000 pounders sink to the bottom and then drive through the mud. He runs 2.66 seconds, and that'll get him in the shootout.
There's no question the Unlimiteds present some of the most bizarre forms of machinery in motorsports today. We've got our 4 semifinalists to determine that championship title coming up. But right now, Jerry, we're going into probably the wildest war yet.
That's right.
Continue action here at the U.S. Off-Road Association Camo Mud Racing and Monster Truck National Championship Series.
You want mud racers? We've got them. Look at this lineup of the staging lanes as we get ready to go into the modified category. Now, these are non-supercharged machines, but they are lightweights, and these things run pretty strong.
First one is going to be John Harmon from Shaver Lake, California. The Kamikaze Kid. He'll be going against Plum Creasy, Oklahoma.
Wow, wild ride at the finish line for Harmon, the defending champion, while Rivas has big-time problems just making it across the finish line. That little short wheelbase Jeep is the machine that won it here last year. Watch this ride. He takes it to the finish line. 2.86 seconds for a single 4-barrel carbureted machine.
Great time. And on Opal, a 5.08 second run, Plum Creasy.
You can see where the problem was there, right at half track. That machine just about turned into a submarine down there, but she managed to pull her out. Pretty bizarre pass, and that 5.08 will put those two drivers in the first and second standings right now.
All right, here comes Twist and Shout, driven by Dwayne Masonheimer, going against Bad to the Bone, driven by Gary Mink of Fresno, California.
Wow! Man, Gary Mink comes up with a tremendous effort for this class. Watch this thing leave the line and keep the tires above the mud. Here in the lightweight class, the idea is to skim across the surface. 2.58 seconds will give him the number 1 spot at this point. In the other lane, the early model Willys family wagon type machine, as you can see, has the tire spin problems on the front end. Still a 2.77 second run is not bad at all. Now remember, these drivers are not shooting for 4 qualifying positions. This is a one-shot round. The low elapsed time of this one-pass round wins it.
All right, here comes the Gladiator, driven by Sonny Snow of Bakersfield.
Pretty unusual machine in the far lane. The Mud Dancer is a 1964 Chevy El Camino. Now, both of these machines use all steel bodies. They are fairly heavy when compared to the supercharged super modifies that we'll see later on. These are both about 3,500-pound vehicles, but you don't see too many Chevy El Caminos in this sport. Dan Harwell waits on the line as his opponent Sonny Snow does the same for the green light.
Both from Bakersfield, here we go.
Big time problems for the Willys, but then the El Camino has problems and the Willys goes back around for a win. Unbelievable.
Well, he really got with it. He really turned up the power.
Look at Harwell, he's not giving up. In and out of the throttle, finally they throw the red flag and that'll stop him there. Pretty bizarre one there. As you can see, the problems immediately for the Gladiator Willys. He gets right back at the throttle, though. Apparently didn't even realize that Harwell was having the problems. That 3,000-pound Willys Jeep bouncing all over the place. Runs at a lapse time of 2.41 seconds. Now, Harwell on the other side, the Mud Dancer, didn't even make it to the 100-foot finish line. 70 feet is the official distance that'll place him well down at the end of the pack, Jerry.
It certainly will. All right, the next pair coming up. It's going to be the Mud Devil, driven by Bobby Sellers.
Sellers Jeep fiberglass CJ funny car now has a mark of 2.41 seconds to beat, as you just saw the Gladiator take the number 1 spot.
Going against Wasted Wagers of Larry Tribe.
You know, anybody with common sense would have bet on the lightweight Jeep CJ to win that one. Shives, last year's runner-up with a brand new full-body pickup, actually gets the win. Again, there is a problem in that right-hand lane down around 3/4 track that you better have some power to be able to get through. The Mud Devil gets stuck in that spot. 4.74 seconds will keep him way down the line.
It certainly will. All right, here comes the replay on our other racer.
Shives of the brand new Ford did a great job, 2.86 seconds. Right now, though, that's only good for the number 5 position in this lineup. But still, talking about a 3,300-pound full-body truck.
All right, next pair brings us Wild Bosco, driven by Mark Shaver, and Pete's Toy, driven by David Ruggles.
Pete's Toy Machine, an altered wheelbase compact pickup. You don't see them on the street too much. 3 goes to green. Tremendous amount of power from both machines. I think those ones are probably going to be good enough for one of the top 2 spots.
They had their hands full trying to control these machines. Look at this!
Tell you what, the Pete's Toy Machine, you couldn't use up any more of this mud course. The elapsed time, 3.02 seconds with a lot of driving going on in that cockpit. The 302 won't be good enough for one of the top 5 spots. And interestingly enough, this run looked even stronger. Again, sideways, bouncing off that high berm we talked about.
He sure did. He just kissed that one wall and brought it back into the center of the track.
It's almost like having an extra driver in there. It'll put you right. 2.81 seconds, though, won't be good enough for one of the top 4 positions as this field is getting quicker and quicker.
It certainly is. Here comes the Mudcat, driven by Chris Brantford, going against Bog Wild Scott Lynch.
Lynch gets a good starting line advantage, but both machines have problems down there near the end, especially the full-body Chevy truck. I'll tell you, again, the fiberglass-bodied, lightweight Jeeps actually seem to be having a problem here.
All right, the Mudcat going through with a time of 5.11. Look at the problem he's having getting through that mud pod.
That's that hole, I guess, basically, down around the 80-foot mark that has really been giving people problems in that lane. The Chevy won't be a factor as far as the threat to the leader is concerned. In the other lane, the fiberglass Jeep machine having the same problem. Starting line launch was excellent, but look at the rear end starting to drop. You know the weight is getting the better of it. Still the elapsed time, 2.60 seconds. That's good right now for the number 2 spot in this field.
Driver's really working that wheel, trying to keep it straight. I'll tell you. Mud and Monster Series, and now the racing is going to become intense.
That's for sure. As we get ready to go into the unlimited categories semifinal round, we've got the 4 quickest qualifiers in that division, and now it's up to those drivers to determine the champion. We've already seen some of the incredible action that these machines can present, but by far the heaviest machines in mud racing can definitely plow through the pit here in Anaheim.
The Goldbricker Ford, it looks like we may have some problems to start off this battle with the 4 quickest machines. He's talking to the starter, as the supercharged 460 Ford may not be able to make the call. Boy, he's rushing around. It looks something is wrong in the rear end area. I don't know what the deal is, Jer.
Now a way of getting inside the truck.
That's for sure. You don't have to worry about jumping into the bed, but you can come right up through the floor. It looks like they may actually be trying to reconnect the starter. In the meantime, Jim Whining out of Arizona, that's definitely showing his sportsmanship, waiting patiently, and the Titanic's revenge is finally given a single run, and he will go through into the final round. Remember, this is a battle of the 4 quickest qualifiers, and there you see the projected team with the Goldbricker Ford pushing her back to the pits. On the slow motion replay on Jim Whining, remember, he was the #1 qualifier for this field at 2:51. Gets a good pass going, 2.69 seconds. That means he'll definitely be competitive going into that final.
Certainly will. All right, here comes Unnamed and Untamed. This is Bill Oliver again from Mountain View, California.
Oliver's rear engine machine has got to be one of the wildest ever. He ran 2:59 in the qualifying round for the #2 spot. He'll take on the #4 man.
He's taking the other lane now on this run.
That's true. Very good point, as a matter of fact. It's unusual to see somebody run so quick, taking another lane. The Mud Pump machine ran 2:90 to get into the field. Tell you what, he's going to have to come up with a whole shot and a half to stay competitive here.
This is Ed Gerber of Bakersfield.
Inching forward into the staging beams, now ready. Gets the whole shot, but what a ride for the rear engine Willies at the finish line. Watch this replay. Perfect pass. The elapsed line, the quickest yet, but look at this thing at the finish line. 2.43 seconds, the quickest run in the Unlimiteds.
All right, here comes the Mud Pup now with a 2.91.
I'll tell you what, consistency is all that matter for Gerber. He got the whole shot, ran as quick as he did to qualify. Just flat wasn't enough against the quickest run of this round. A great battle, and that'll set up Titanic's revenge against Unnamed and Untamed in the final round. There's a happy man.
Boy, Bill Oliver, he's smiling. You know, he almost lost it, though. Coming out of the mid pit, he could have lost some time there.
No question about it. That 243 may not be as quick as that thing can go. The crowd's got to be wondering who's going to win that final round dash. Tremendous battle with a huge, huge crowd on hand for this event. 3 classes of mud racing. Monster truck battle deluxe. You couldn't ask for more.
A beautiful day here at Anaheim for racing here at Anaheim Stadium.
The crowd gets ready now for the Ground Pounders, the supercharged, super modifieds, the quickest and fastest mud racers, including 1988 winner Californian Wendy Tarman, the lady in the near lane.
Going against the pit boss, Roy Scotty Kirby.
Unbelievable pass for Kirby. The defending champion in the far lane holds the track record here at 2.06 seconds. And on the replay, it looks like he was just about that quick that time. Beautiful run for the supercharged big block Chevy. 2.09 seconds on the 100-foot-long pit. I'll tell you what, he's right where he left off last year, Jerry.
Well, Wendy had a time of 2.35 seconds. All right, next pair up is going to be Top Dog going against Mudbuster.
Well, Jess Carlson in the Mudbuster did real well here last year. Listen to the sound of that 512 cubic inch supercharged Chevy. Here's last year's runner-up.
From Fresno, California.
Tom Etheridge, the Top Dog, small block Chevy in the near lane.
Screaming through the mud pit.
Man, for a small block Chevrolet, that thing is still incredible. It got runner-up to Kirby here last year. The big question is what happened to the Mudbuster machine, and the starting line crew is waving him off. Tough break for Jess Carlson.
Driver from Banning, California.
Here's Etheridge's supercharged small block Chevy, 393 cubic inches, front wheels up. Look at the elapsed time. The quickest run ever for a 100-foot-long course in U.S. Hot Rod Association history. 1.86 seconds, eclipsing a 2.5-year-old 191 national record.
Here come the next pair. It's going to be the Psychotic Reaction with Glenn Weller. And he'll be going against Tough Enough with David Taylor behind the control.
Now, David Taylor is a brand new driver. But man, does he come up with the horsepower. Look at the back end of that truck. The fuel-injected machine of the Psychotic Reaction team broke about 3/4 track. There you see it backfiring and blowing the fuel injector covers off. Obviously, big-time problems for the fiberglass nitrous oxide Jeep CJ. But watch this.
Oh, this is unbelievable. A good straight run. Look at the fenders flapping away.
2.28 seconds. That should be good enough to get into the Final Four.
Oh, here comes Harry Scary. This is a hot machine driven by John Morse.
I'll tell you, it is an awesome piece of equipment. One of the lightest machines in competition, about 1,900 pounds for this supercharged Chevy-powered Jeep. He's got to go quicker than 2.35 seconds to get in the Final Four in the Camel Shootout.
He's from Santa Maria, California. Easing it up to the line. Waiting for the green, and he's just about ready to go.
2:35, the mark to beat. A lot of tire spin off the starting line. I don't know if that's going to be good enough. Boy, locking up the brakes. There is not much mud on that machine at all. On the replay, you can see the spinning tires. He didn't hook up as well as he thought, but the elapsed time is good enough anyway to get him in the Camel Shootout in the Super Modifieds. 2.30 seconds gives him the number 4 slot. The longest 6 seconds of the last round takes on John Morris and the lightweight Harry Scary.
Oh, this is going to be good. Watch him now as the light hits a green. They're going to be on their way.
Man, what a ride. Problems for Harry Scary. Etheridge takes down a couple of shutdown area cones, but that won't disqualify him. Our cameraman getting murdered with mud down there. I'll tell you, that was a pretty wild ride for the camera people.
Hazards of the occupation. Let's take another look at this.
This is the angle that cameraman got off the starting line. The tire speed, incredible. Blam! Right in the lens. Unbelievable shot. It takes guts to man your post down there, Jerry.
That mud can hurt.
I'll tell you what, Etheridge at 2.55 seconds. Look at the front wheels. Never had front wheel drive on that run. That was a rear wheel drive run, only a hard bounce at the finish line. And Etheridge's machine, like I said, with only 2-wheel drive and even no front brakes, tries to stop the machine down there in the top end. He lost a half a second because of it.
All right, next pair of machines coming up.
This will be the pit boss in the near lane. The machine that won here in 1989 and 1987 against Dave Taylor, the Tough Enough machine that qualified at 2:28, a career best for the 100-foot-long pit. But remember, Roy Scotty Kirby, the man who ran 2:09 in the first round.
All right, let's watch it now. Here we go. Going to the green.
Wow! Unbelievable. Look at
Kirby trying to stop that thing completely sideways. But remember, it's not the driver that gets there first that wins. It's the quickest elapsed time. You can see the Tough Enough machine get the whole shot, but watching the near lane is Kirby with the pit loss. Goes 2:32, airborne at the finish line, completely sideways trying to stop it. And in the other lane, the Tough Enough machine runs 2:34. That will bump out Etheridge, who we saw run 1:86 from the final round. These two will meet again in the final, Jerry.
All right, he locks it up, brings it to a halt, and here we go now into the final.
Tell you what, these guys have done some battle today. Already seen a world record. There you see David Taylor on the line, and here's defending champion and two-time winner Kirby on the line.
He's from Fontana, California, and here we go. Wait for that green.
Staging the drivers up. They're ready.
Watch it. Here we go.
Lots of tire spin for the Tough Enough machine. Look at Kirby thundering through the shutdown area. I'll tell you what, the Tough Enough entry getting the whole shot just about in every round. Look at this guy leave the line, but now watch the tire spin. There you see the mud coming up, and that means big time problems. He may have actually had problems with the front wheel drive there as well. Airborne at the finish line. The elapsed time, 2.93 seconds, but it was Kirby that dominated this event for the third year, Jerry.
All right, on the replay, let's take a look now at the pit boss, the winner, with a 2.34 seconds.
Tell you, the man cannot be beaten here at Anaheim, the third straight win. Well, so far, Jerry,